Wow. 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 Today. Look, Community Shield, we didn't win it, but my brain is overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's happened inside United today, news-wise. Ligt, here we go. Mazraoui, here we go. Wan-Bissaka, here we go. Wan-Bissaka's medicals tomorrow. Ligt and Mazraoui are already in England for the Tottenham game. Their medicals are scheduled after the Wan-Bissaka medicals. 3 deals done, and United aren't stopping there. 3 deals done. One out, 2 in today. Sale for SANCHO and MAGUIRE apparently a possibility. Lindelof also expected to leave with some offers coming in for Lindelof. There's more news coming in. Man United are working apparently on the UGARTE deal. They can still sign a DM even if we don't sell anyone. So even if we don't sell anyone else, we still apparently have 40 million for a DM. Like, I don't know what's going on. There's been an element of frustration, the last couple of weeks, particularly the last 2 weeks, because we've got Xerxes and Euro signed in the same day, and then we've had 3 weeks of Ligt, this Mazraoui, this, but he's finally done. They're finally coming. They're going to be here for the Fulham game. I think versus Manchester City, bar the first 25 minutes, the game was really good. The game was really positive, and the only weaknesses came from defence, which Police stripped right back while Mazraoui's coming in. That's one of them. The Ligt, potentially build up and centre back. Well, the Licht's good at that. All the issues we had was kind of can be solved by Ligt and Mazraoui and a DM side it coming in. The attack was looking really good in the game versus Manchester City. I feel good. I feel really good, and there's more deals expected to happen, and there's so much going on inside United, and Hamoza and Ugarte could be signed. Look, Pellistri's not a right back. He's not going to play right back. He was just doing that. I still think he should have just had Amos on the bench. We could play Amos left back and keep Delo at right back, but it's I don't know, it just, my head hasn't got around all the news today. I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy, but I just feel, and I'm going to get to news, I'm going to get to stories, I'm going to share my screen in a second, but I feel very positive about Manchester United. I feel very positive about the news coming out at the moment. I think De Ligt and Mazraoui is what we need for the defence. There's injury issues, there's build-up issues. They're good in build-up. They're technically good. De Ligt and Mazraoui, I think, are 2 good deals that's going to boost the defence. We're going to get a DM regardless of sales. There's potential for one more sale, one more signing. There's a strong possibility that there will be one more sale, one more signing, because United obviously working on that. PSG obviously having talks to SANCHO. They've asked United about a fee. There's a possibility of a SANCHO swap deal with Ugarte, but nothing advanced. Obviously, contact with Sander Berge. There's so much going on at United, so I want to get into the news. I want to get into the stories, but look, please do hit that like button if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. And look, I don't know, there's just so much to get into, and I'm going to get into the chat and everything. But let me just get through the news that broke earlier today. I've got a bit of a headache as well, so I don't know how long I'm going to be live for, just because my head is a bit all over the place at the moment. But it was said earlier today by Florian Plettenberg, done deal, the Ligt will join Manchester United after total agreement between United and Bayern has now been reached. It was revealed, it was closed yesterday. Now, after David Ornstein's confirmed, it's 45 million euros plus 5 million add-ons, so it's 38 million pounds plus add-ons, taking it to a 42 million pound deal, which I think is a very good price. 24-year-old defender is going to undergo his medical Sunday or Monday. Mazraoui also joins United for 30 million pounds with 4 million add-ons, so 17 million pound deal. Romano then confirms Wan-Bissaka exits as a 15 million pound fee agreed for Wan-Bissaka. It's now been slated as 5 million add-ons, so we're going to get 20 million for Wan-Bissaka. We obviously De Ligt and Mazraoui are done. That came in. Romano did the Wan-Bissaka, here we go. The medical is booked. Wan-Bissaka's medical's booked. Mazraoui will travel for medical tests right after. Mazraoui and De Ligt are in England. We then got the Mazraoui, here we go. Green light plan, la-di-la-di-la. We then got the Mazraoui De Ligt, here we go. And we got 3 here we goes in one day. We've also working on one more sale and one more signing as well for the window. And, apparently we've made a bid for even Ferguson as well, as a story coming out. I don't personally believe that. It's just so much news and so much information to get into, to digest in regards to Manchester United as well. Evening everybody in the chat. But look, let's get into the news. Let's get into the stories. I just wanted to keep you guys up to date with what came in earlier today. Let's get into what's coming out this evening. But please do go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new, if you want to talk about all the latest news. But the 3 here we goes was Mazraoui, Ligt, and Wan-Bissaka. Here we go, bish bash bosh. We're now working on the UGARTE deal. We're now working on the potential exit of McTominay, Jadon Sancho, Maguire. There's offers there. There's interest there. There's a feeling, and it's been reported that we've got 3 here we goes today, and there's an expected to be one more signing and one more sale this window, at least at United, at least as well. So what we got today is that Wan-Bissaka's transfer to West Ham is expected to be worth up to 20 million, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka will travel to London tomorrow morning with a view to having his West Ham medical in the afternoon. So Wan-Bissaka is going to London tomorrow for his West Ham medical. Fingers crossed he passes it, and then there could be some question marks over the Ligt news, but you know, if he fails his medical, maybe we're thinking, oh no. But he's going for his medical, and that should be done. That should be sorted. And £20 million. Apparently, it's 5 million add-ons. So it's £15 million base, 5 million add-ons. I mean, we got Mazraoui for €15 million base and €5 million in add-ons. So I think because we've given Wan-Bissaka a 2 or 3 million payout, the money we get from Wan-Bissaka completely covers the money we get from Mazraoui, and then we've obviously included Ligt in that. Just bring them both at once. Double signing there as well. We need a midfielder and a left back. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So we're obviously in talks to bring in Hermoso on a free, but we're going to make a decision on that later in the window, is what's been said. So that's going to be like a Reguilon when we do it on deadline day and we make a decision late. We're also in talks with UGARTE. We put in bids for UGARTE. We put in a £43 million offer for UGARTE. There's contact there with Sander Berge. There's obviously rumours of McTominay exit still being on, of Fulham set to press ahead with that. There was conversations with 30 earlier in the week. There's a lot going on at United, and it's said to be at least one more sale and one more signing post this Ligt, Mazraoui, Wan-Bissaka news. Potentially 2 more signings, potentially 2 more sales. Potentially 3 more signings or 3 more sales at United as things go, but I think to be realistic as well. Hermoso is a player that I've not watched play for a while. Like, he was a solid, decent defender at Atletico Madrid. He could play out from the back. In terms of ball playing, he can play left back, left centre back. Seemed quite mobile, seemed quite comfortable on the ball. But I mean, he's left as a free agent, not got a load of offers, it looks like, unless he's just weighing it out. So I don't know what he was like for Atletico Madrid last year. He played in the Champions League for them. He played a fair few minutes. He's got a good injury record, and he was one of the players that played a lot of minutes for them. So I'd assume he's a key and important player, but I guess you never know. So let's dive into some more news, people, some more stories. Amas was training with the Man United players, and he was warming up with them despite not being in the squad because Ten Hag wants to give him the experience. But I just think if you had no fit defenders on the bench, why didn't you put Amas on the bench? What made you think I'd rather have Pellistri at right back and Delo at left back than Amas at left back and Delo at right back? I don't know what Ten Hag was thinking there as well. Wan-Bissaka's never had major injuries, so he should be fine. Yeah, I mean, he had his worst injury season this year as well. Fabrizio Romano said in a video, we'll be making another 4 extra signings after De Ligt and Mazraoui. Did he actually? I know Romano said there's an expectation that there will be 4 signings at United, including De Ligt and Mazraoui. Romano said there'll be 4 signings at Manchester United, including De Ligt and Mazraoui. I didn't hear anything about Romano saying even more on top of that. So I don't know what video you've watched, but maybe the transfer window will get crazy. Amas would have been destroyed in a City match, let's face it. I think he would have struggled elements of it, yes, but I just think that Pellistri at right back or Amas at left back, I don't really think there's a much difference in terms of ability. Obviously, Pellistri's more developed, more physically developed, better going forward, but as a defender, maybe Amas would have been the better fit as well. So let's talk about the other news coming in, the other story. So the latest on De Ligt is here. Matthijs De Ligt needs to be registered as a Manchester United player by midday Thursday to be available for Friday's match against Fulham. So Wan-Bissaka's medical is tomorrow, Sunday versus West Ham, and then obviously Mazraoui's medical will follow. Mazraoui and De Ligt's medical is expected to be Monday, which means the deal could be signed Tuesday, which means they could be registered by Tuesday evening, which would mean they're probably able to play against Fulham on Friday. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, both De Ligt and Mazraoui can play against Fulham on Friday. It was said that De Ligt has only missed 27 matches through injury for club and country over the past 3 seasons, the same as Harry Maguire and fewer than Lindelof and Martinez. And I think the biggest concern with De Ligt and Mazraoui was being injury prone. Now, actually, Wan-Bissaka missed more games for injury last season than Mazraoui. And De Ligt has only missed 27 matches for club and country over the past 3 seasons, which is the same amount as Maguire. Lint is less than Lindelof and less than Martinez. So while De Ligt injury record isn't the best, De Ligt had a good injury record and then had one injury-prone season. So the availability of De Ligt isn't awful. I mean, the availability of our centre-backs is just bad in general. But, I mean, if De Ligt comes in and gets injured, I would lose my mind. I think I would with Euro injured. There seems to be, you join Man United, you're going to get injured. We seem to be cursed. De Ligt and Mazraoui get injured within the next month. We are officially cursed. But, yeah, De Ligt could play in the game against Fulham and Mazraoui could play in the game against Fulham, which is good stuff to see as well. We're paying the 42 million Bayern demanded. A portion is add-ons, but why no discount? There was a discount. Bayern wanted 42 million up front plus add-ons. We wanted to pay 38 million pounds. We've paid 38 million pounds with 4 million add-ons, taking it to 42. They wanted 42 million pounds going to 50 million in add-ons. Yeah, we wanted it for 38 million pounds. We've compromised on 42, but the 42 includes add-ons. So the 38 million pounds we wanted to pay is what we're paying plus 4 million in add-ons. So I think that's a good deal for United. The money we get from Wan-Bissaka completely covers what the Mazraoui fee is. The Wan-Bissaka deal completely covers the Mazraoui fee. That is done. That is over. That is, that is sorted. De Ligt for 38 million up front. And apparently, regardless of sale, we still got 40 million to spend on the DM without getting any FFP issues, regardless of sales as well. And then if we sign in midfielder, there could be 2 additions. And then we're also looking at the Hermoso guy to go in at left back or left centre back. There's a lot of news, a lot of updates, a lot of stories going about as well. So I think it was a good deal as well. We will talk about the match versus Manchester City. I am interested to know you guys' opinion as well. There's only 2 more signings, Sander Berge and UGARTE. Sander Berge and UGARTE, the ones to watch. So is Fofana. I have to say I was impressed with Casemiro today. Will Casemiro keep that up? Who knows? But that was one of Casemiro's best performances in a Man United shirt for a while. Casemiro's been really poor, hit and miss. A player that I was just thinking, send him to Saudi now. We need to move him on. And I generally think that Casemiro had a much better game. I've been quite critical of Casemiro lately, but I actually think you could argue he was man of the match versus Man City. And one thing I've noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but our out of possession structure was so much better. Our out of possession structure, the 4-2-4 we were operating in, out of possession was so much better. We looked so much cleaner versus Manchester City out of possession. There was less big gaping holes. There was less big gaps. And I think because Ten Hag's changed his structure and is offering someone next to Casemiro to support him, so we're not asking Casemiro to operate such a large amount of space, I also think that helped improve Casemiro. I thought he looked much better. I think that's the best we've seen Casemiro play in a long time. To do that against Manchester City, of course, they didn't have the best midfield for Manchester City. They didn't have Rodri or anything like that. But it was a strong performance from Casemiro, and he's been the biggest worry. And I know that we're probably bringing the DM on top of Casemiro. Maybe Casemiro comes onto the bench. But if you have Casemiro back at his best and a new DM signing, not necessarily saying that Casemiro's going to stay back at his best, and with the potential of Toby Collier coming through, there is some really good options in there to strengthen the midfield as well. Guys, please do hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below to the channel if you're new. Share the video and all of that good stuff as well. Lots and lots to talk about in today's show, but obviously the match against City, we may have lost on penalties, but win for me as well. 1k likes, guys, so please do continue to hit that like button if you have not already as well. Rashford didn't have the best game. No, he didn't. I like Marcus Rashford, but he should have scored one of those chances. Had Rashford put those chances away, we'd be saying he had a really good game. He got in the right areas. He made the right runs. But yeah, no, Rashford definitely should have put one of his chances away, and it was a disappointing performance from Marcus Rashford, and hopefully he can just keep his head up and get his confidence back, because Garnacho and Ahmad were phenomenal today, and right now it looks like Garnacho could start on the left and Ahmad could start on the right. It was weird that Sancho didn't play and he played Mason Mount and Bruno together, but it kind of worked. Sancho, when he came off the bench, didn't have the best game, and there's actually reports that Man United are discussing a Sancho-UGARTE swap deal behind the scenes with PSG, so that's one to keep an eye on, but it's coming out from French sources that I'm not super aware of, so it'll be interesting to see if Romano or Ornstein talk about the Sancho-UGARTE swap deal that's been proposed, reportedly, allegedly, in the coming days. But I think that, the good thing was that Sancho came on and not Anthony. Anthony didn't make it on the pitch. It was Sancho that came on. It was Pulisic that came on. Every single attacker came on, apart from Xerxes, because he's not fully fit, and Anthony. So again, it's an indication of that he will start to play Sancho over Anthony. He's probably the better player. I mean, could Anthony be on the way out? I'm not sure. Anthony's very much speaking about like he's going to stay. But I like that he played Ahmad. Ahmad, deserved to play. I think, Rashford probably should have gone off over Ahmad, but I can understand him wanting to protect Ahmad with him being injury prone in the past. but I would like to see Garnacho on the left, Ahmed on the right. Rashford didn't have his best game, but he was getting into the right areas. I think it's just confidence for Rashford. There were some really good movements in attack with Rashford, but yeah, he just really should have put his chances away, because we could have generally beaten Manchester City like 4-1. Like, that's the mad thing. We actually did enough to win that game like 3-4-1 as well. But I think Casemiro was man of the match as well. Who actually believes the Evan Ferguson rumours were broke? I don't believe the Evan Ferguson rumours, which is why I haven't reported it or put it in the title or thumbnail. But apparently we're making a 50 million bid for Evan Ferguson, but I don't believe it. I think it's a load of rubbish. Rashford will improve. The missed chances was good. He'll work on his game. Yeah, the thing is, Rashford link-up play was good. He was getting in the right areas. It looked sharper, but not sharp enough. So De Ligt is essentially a Man United player. I mean, as you can see here, you know, De Ligt and Mazraoui were in the squad for Bayern Munich against Tottenham. They're in London right now. They're in the Tottenham Stadium. They didn't get any minutes, but they're in London. They're in the Tottenham Stadium. I don't know if they'll fly back to Germany. I mean, I assume they probably will fly back to Germany, because it's only an hour and a half flight, and then they can get some more of their stuff, and they could say goodbye to teammates. But they may go for their medical and then fly back to Germany and sort things out. Who knows as well. Guys, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. We're 6 subscribers away from 88.4k, so if you've not subscribed down below, it'd be absolutely amazing if you do hit that subscribe button, because we're only 6 subscribers away from 88.4k if you are new. Now, I want to dive into some more news. I want to dive into some more stories. There's rumours of the medical for De Ligt and Mazraoui being tomorrow, but apparently it can't be done until Wan-Bissaka's medical's done, so maybe it's going to be done Monday, or maybe they are going to fly back. Who knows? But there's so much information coming on. There's so much news that UGARTE could be incoming now. There's just so much going on as well. There's so much going on in regards to United news, and my head is absolutely gone, and I don't know how long I'm going to be live for, because I've got a massive headache. So I'm trying to keep it together and concentrate. So I do apologise, I'm a bit all over the place. But we've obviously got a few news stories on what could be next for United. And I think we've spoken about what's come out earlier today. We all know what's gone on. We all know the big events, the triple here we go. It's been all over social media. But let's talk about what's next, because there's expected to be a lot of business in the coming days. It's expected to be a lot more news, a lot more incoming. You know, potentially SANCHO could go. There's interest in Maguire. Lindelof could go. Eriksen could go. McTominay, Fulham is still there. It's not off. There's a lot that is expected to happen, but I think midfield is something that's been said that regardless of what happens, United will look to sign a midfielder. Regardless of what happens and all of that, it has been said and reported by many reports that we will sign a midfielder regardless of sales. So what is the latest in regards to the midfield front at Manchester United? It's said that Manchester United will now focus on a midfielder, with Manuel Ugarte still the priority. To sign Ugarte, either PSG must lower the price or United sell a midfielder. Berge and Amrabat are part of Plan B. So if we do not sell a player, or if PSG do not lower the fee, we will get Berge or Amrabat. Now, interestingly, we made a £43 million bid for Ugarte, which says, regardless of what happens, we have £43 million to spend. Regardless of what happens with sales, we have £43 million to spend on a midfielder. We've made that bid, and we said to PSG, you lower that, or you agree some kind of loan deal for Ugarte, or you agree some kind of swap, but we've made the £43 million bid for Ugarte, and if PSG don't accept that, we can just go and put £43 million elsewhere in midfield. But regardless of sales, there is apparently £43 million there for a midfielder. We've got 2 signings in the De Ligt and Mazraoui. The third signing will be coming in a midfielder, whether that's Berger, whether that's Amrabat, whether that is Youssouf Fofana. We're having talks with him. We presented the project to him and to Monaco. You know, that's one to watch. It depends. But we do like Ugarte. He is the number one. He is the deal we're working on. George Mendes is pushing for the Ugarte move. George Mendes just got a Neto to Chelsea like that. George Mendes is pushing on the Ugarte move and PSG to lower the fee. PSG have realised that United have other options and walked away from Branthwaite and have, you know, and they could happily do the same for Ugarte. So PSG also realising that. So there's a feeling that PSG could lower the fee with the desperation to sell Ugarte, and no other club is willing to pay what PSG are asking for Ugarte. And also PSG know that we have other options. Ugarte is now going to be worked on. Now De Ligt and Mazraoui is done. We're going to be full focus on Ugarte. Getting that deal done, getting that deal over the line, regardless of whether McTominay stays or goes. It has been said by many credible outlets, we will sign a DM regardless of whether McTominay stays or goes. But if McTominay does go, we will sign 2 midfielders, which could be, you know, a Fofana on top of Ugarte. For me, I really like the idea of Youssouf Fofana, but he seems to be sort of the 4th choice. If McTominay goes, it's 2 midfielders. There's also talk of Maguire leaving. There's also talk of Sancho leaving. There's also talk of other sort of players potentially leaving as well. So let's talk about this. Even after securing deals for Mazraoui and Ligt and Wan-Bissaka, Manchester United will remain active in the transfer market with a midfield signing anticipated. Regardless of player sales, the club is also open to offloading additional players during the transfer window to accommodate further additions to the squad. Man United are open to offers for Police Street, Eriksen, Lindelof, Mazraoui, Maguire and Sancho. Juventus currently have an interest in Maguire, and we know that PSG have an interest in Sancho. There is rumours about maybe Sancho being involved in a deal for UGARTE, but nothing reliable has come out from that. It's rumours from, your gutted tier sources as well. But, we've got 3 signings done today. Well, 3 deals done today, 2 in, 1 out. 1 more is expected to come in, 1 more is expected to come out as well for United, and potentially more. Fabrizio Romano said yesterday that there's expected to be 4 additions at United. Someone to cover left back or left centre back on the cheap on the loan, which could be Hermoso, Ligt, Mazraoui, and a DM signing. And he said, if we sell, there could be 2 DM signings. If we sell Sancho, there could even be a winger signing. He's saying, Man United are going to be heavy in the market. August is going to be a big month for United. And, him and Florian Plettenberg were saying that United will sign De Ligt to Mazraoui and they will get that done. This morning they said it should be done today, and it was done today. So, there's expected to be movement. I really want this Berger deal. I know a lot of you guys aren't the biggest fan of Berge, but I'm more than happy for us to get Berge for the right price and the right wages. I'm happy to get it. If you want my honest opinion, if you said to me we get UGARTE or we get Berge and Fofana, I would take Berge and Fofana over UGARTE any day of the week for the same price. I think that it's a better deal as well, and I think that his 6'4" height is needed. I think his ability on the ball would help with our build-up issues. The biggest issue versus Manchester City didn't come out of possession; it came in possession and build-up. And not Maguire, Maino was our only good midfielder in build-up, and I think for me, having someone in build-up in midfield, Berge can do that better than UGARTE as well. I think PSG are using your club to better their transfer stance, potentially. I just think because they need to sell UGARTE, I surely think PSG are going to lower the fee for UGARTE, surely. Thank you very much for the chat. Great channel, Alice. Really appreciate that as well. Someone said Amrabat isn't up to United standard. Amrabat is a second midfield signing. I agree. I like Amrabat. But if we only sign Amrabat as our midfielder and we don't sign any actual new midfielders, what is the point? Amrabat is someone that comes in. Okay, you've got injury issues in midfield. You've got question marks over depth of the midfield. You sign, Berge, and then you sign Amrabat on top of that. That's okay. You sign UGARTE, you sign Amrabat on top of that. That's okay. But I don't want us to just sign Amrabat. I think Amrabat is that last ditch offer, and I feel a bit bad for Amrabat because he's clearly waiting for Manchester United. He's clearly, really would love a move to Manchester United and clearly waiting for Manchester United to come in for him and stuff. And I do feel a little bit bad because I do think that Man United are just keeping him there just in case, and he may wait all window for us again, but this time we might not actually get him, which could be the worrying thing as well. Could be the worrying thing. I watched UGARTE for Uruguay. He seemed press resistant but not progressive. Others will have to progress the ball forward. I think that's why we need Mazraoui, potentially to invert. I have worries about UGARTE in possession. Out of possession, I like UGARTE. I have worries about him in possession. Maino is good in possession. I think if you've got UGARTE and then Yusuf Fofana, who's quite good in possession, so if something happened to Maino, Yusuf Fofana could play in Maino's role, it'd be good. But there is definitely worries around UGARTE in possession for sure. Guys, please do hit that like button and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. We're 5 subscribers away from 88.4k, so please do subscribe to the channel if you are new and have not already subscribed as well. The problem with Maino is he's not always the best out of possession. Maino is a possession-based player, which means if you put Maino next to someone that's really good out of possession, that is the perfect pairing. Let's go for 500 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. I have got a bit of a headache, so I do apologise that I've been struggling a little bit to get my words out the stream, but that would be amazing if we could hit 500 likes. It was also said that United are leading the race to sign Mario Hermoso. The free agent defender wants a contract at least 3 years with a salary of 5.1 million per season, which is absolutely taking the mick because that's over 100k a week. I think that will be the big question for Manchester United. Maybe you give him a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal. Potentially they could consider it, but I wouldn't give him. I don't think he's worth that amount of wages if I'm going to be totally honest, but we obviously are looking at him as an option as well as maybe a 4th signing as well. There's rumours of Evan Ferguson, but I don't know. I think Man United's focus is defence and midfield. That's where De Ligt and Mazraoui have come in. That's why we put in a bid for UGARTE. That's why we're having conversations with Sander Berge, and that's why we've had talks with Monaco. Man United's focus right now is defence and midfield. I don't really believe much of the news on the attack. If I'm going to be honest as well, we struggled to play out from the back. UGARTE isn't the addition to solve the weakness. I actually think if we're struggling to play out from the back, and people might think I'm mad saying this, but Sander Berge would be a better addition in terms of build-up. Off the ball, UGARTE is better. On the ball, Berge is better. And I do think off the ball, structurally, I think off the ball, a lot of our problems came through tactics and structure, which Ruvan Nistelrooy helped fix and Ten Hag's adapting. We saw that versus City. It was on the ball where we struggled versus City, but City are also one of the best teams off the ball and pressing and making it difficult for us on the ball. I do think that Sander Berge's ability on the ball, like, you know, I know a lot of you guys don't like Sander Berge coming in and the idea of it, but I'm very okay for Sander Berge to come in for United as long as we're not paying ridiculous money or giving him a ridiculous wage, because I see him as our equivalent of Endo, how Liverpool signed Endo for a season. Like, I've always liked Sander Berge. I always think he's a decent player. I do want to talk about the match versus City. I did obviously do a match reaction for the City game, so make sure you go check that out after this live stream where I gave my full thoughts on all the players, particularly just how good Amad Diallo is. But I'll write down what we learned from the game. I wrote down what we learned from the game here in terms of what I just picked out from watching the game here. So this is my what we learned versus Manchester City list. I said Amad, man of the match in the first half with everything going through him. Great decision making. He must start right wing. Amad Diallo was unbelievable. Clear man of the match in the first half for me. I said Casemiro looked back to his best. The midfield structure out of possession was much better with less big gaps. I said that Garnacho looked really sharp to whose goal well and should have had an assist with a great ball into Rashford. What a cameo from him. I think the 4-2-4 worked well out of possession. I think Collier looked really good. His physical ability to cover large spaces worked well. He was fast, agile and everywhere. His physical presence in midfield and it was needed in our midfield. And he's keen to improve in possession, which I like. I think we looked so much better. And a lot of people have not picked this out, but I think we looked so much better when Toby Collier came on. And I haven't seen a lot of people speak about this or pick this out, but we started the first 25 minutes versus City not looking good and looking a little bit poor. We weren't at our best the first 25 minutes versus City. But I think the second half of the first half, we looked good. And in the second half, we looked really good and in control. We were creating all the chances. We were in control of the midfield. We looked fitter than them. And I think out of possession, Toby Collier was really, really on it. And I think, you know, the physical flooring of the team out of possession has been an issue. I think United have always struggled technically and athletically. And I think technically in attack, we've got it with Amad, with Mount, with Xerxes coming in. We were really good in tight spaces. But I think, you know, physically we've lacked with Eriksen and Casemiro, but I thought Collier looked really, really good physically. I mean, I think Amad was man of the match in the first half. Everything came through him. I thought Garnacho was unbelievable. And I think, you know, Garnacho, when he's not been ran to the ground and made to start 50 games in a row and he was fresh, you can see the impact he makes against tired legs. Casemiro looked back to his best. The midfield structure was better. The 4-2-4 went well out of possession. Collier looked, you know, good. His physical ability was good. And I've said this before, and people are angry, like, oh, we've lost Ten Hag. I saw people saying that. Very small minority. But I think we were the better team. We had opportunities to win that game versus Man City. 3-1, 4-1. Rashford had 2 big chances he could have scored. Amad opted to cross when he could have scored. The overall attacking play in tight spaces and link up from United was good, you know. There was question marks and there was weaknesses at the back, and that was Martinez at left back wasn't working, but the centre back he looked good. Pellistri, obviously, the Man City scored their only real chance through Bernardo Silva, and that's because Pellistri was playing right back. There was issues in build-up the first 25 minutes, but we seemed to sort that out. When Maino got involved in build-up, it got better. And I do think that maybe we do need to look at a midfielder that's a bit more comfortable on the ball than UGARTE, just because of the build-up issues we noticed versus City. But obviously with Martinez at the back and with Luke Shaw and Mazraoui and Ligt coming in, we probably won't have those same build-up issues. But you know, I didn't like that Onana went long a lot, and I didn't like the build-up in the first 25 minutes. But obviously we sorted that out. We did well in the second half. Bruno in the second half was great. Bruno in the first half, he didn't look quite fully fit, but in the second half, he just really caught up and looked to speed, which is just crazy from Bruno. And that goal from Bruno, it's such a shame it didn't count, because that goal from Bruno would have been phenomenal. But I think in the final third, we looked good. The link-up play was good. And I generally think versus City, we had more chances, had the higher XG, we created more chances. I think we were the better team. We looked good going forward. We just didn't score our chances, but also we didn't have a recognised striker on the pitch. You know, out of possession, we'd massively improved. Our biggest issue last season was the structure and the spaces between us at possession. I was really happy with the game versus Manchester City, and I spotted quite a few improvements as well. And I generally could see a use for Sander Berge. And people will call me crazy, but I could see a use and a need. for Sander Berge in that side as well. Collier needs to develop in possession because he's only able to do short, medium back passes with comfort. If he doesn't show any development in the coming years, we should show him. Absolutely. But I like that Collier always wants to get on the ball and always is trying to pay those passes to get more used to it and develop. I think Collier reminds me of Declan Rice, where he's got everything off the ball and his game as he goes through and through develops on the ball. And that's what I liked from Toby Collier. He was really starting to develop on the ball. He was showing from the ball. McTominay hides from the ball. McTominay isn't comfortable on the ball, but he hides from the ball. Collier isn't comfortable on the ball, but he shows for the ball. And that's what I like. I don't think Collier is anything like Scott McTominay. He always wants the ball. He always wants to be involved. And McTominay hides as well. 2 cheap midfielders is probably better use of money than 1 expensive one as a main backup. I do think Sander Berge, considering Sander Berge and Ugarte... considering Sander Berge and Fofana is going to cost the same as Ugarte, I would rather get Sander Berge and Fofana as well. Someone said Sander Berge is injury prone. Sander Berge hasn't been injured for 2 seasons. Yusuf Fofana hasn't been injured for about 6 seasons. You know, I wouldn't say Sander Berge injury prone. I mean, Ugarte's got a really good injury record as well. How many minutes did Ugarte play last season? So we have a look at this. Ugarte stats. So Ugarte played last season. He played, let me get this up, if it loads, let me check this for you. I just need it to load. Why isn't it loading? Are we lagging? No, we're not. Also, we're 3 subscribers away, just 3 subscribers away from 88.4k, so please do subscribe down below if you're new. In regards to Ugarte, last season he played 2,400 minutes, and towards the end of the season he spent a lot of time on the bench. Sander Berge. So did Sander Berge play more than 2,400 minutes, which is only what Ugarte managed at PSG because he wasn't really the best and he got dropped a lot at PSG. Sander Berge, I know he's not in European competitions, but I'd assume Sander Berge played more minutes than Ugarte, even though he wasn't in European competitions like him. Let's have a look. Sander Berge played 3,200 minutes. So despite only playing Premier League football last season, he got more minutes than Ugarte. But listen, people, I've got a massive headache, so I'm really struggling with this live stream. So I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. But just big up everybody in the chat. Please do hit that like button. If you could subscribe if you're new, that'd be amazing. We're 2 subscribers away from 88.4k, so please do subscribe if you're new. I'll be back in the morning for an update, but my 10-minute roundup's going to come in the morning. But my head is kind of gone. I think I need a bit of a rest today. So yeah, apologise for not getting through all the news, but thank you for watching. Bye.